Good to see everybody. Hopefully, we're getting into the chat here. We were just talking about Friday's show. If you guys missed it, I asked the question, what if Ohio State loses to Michigan in 2023? And got a lot of good comments. This community is really blowing up, which is the first sign of a good community. But on top of that, we're getting a lot of responses into topics that I'm asking and the topics I'm laying out. So I'll try to continue to bring the heat in a topic fashion. First of all, though, you know what we got to do.
Hi, my name is Tyvis Powell, former Ohio State Buckeye and national champion DB. Welcome to the Buckeye Cast. These guys was born and bred in the Buckeye State, and they like to talk Buckeye football and drink bourbon. Subscribe to the show. Now pour up a drink and pull up a stool. Here's your host, Joe Warwick. Get him, Joe.
All right, Tyvis, appreciate you. Every Sunday night, Tyvis comes in here, gives us a 30 seconds of his time. We really appreciate that. So thank you, Tyvis. Jeff and Shawn, what's up, man? We got Jeff and Shawn in here. Hope everybody's doing well out there in the YouTube Live communities. I know you might be maybe pouring a drink, sipping it slow after losing on a recruit, but let's keep things in perspective. It's one recruit. It's a linebacker. We already got two in the class. So let's not go nuts. We will touch on that. But Jeff and Shawn, how you doing tonight?
Good, man.
All right.
Glad to be back.
You look good.
Thanks. You got a new haircut.
Oh, beautiful. I see you went with the stripes in the side. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Got my
Nice.
own number put in there.
Oh, never gets old. Jeff, how's the Wi-Fi treating you? That good, huh? All right.
Nice.
Let's move it on. So, folks, I appreciate everybody hopping in. Please, if you could, please subscribe, support the show. That's the best thing you can do. If you want to go the extra mile, share it with a friend. And if you want to go the extra mile, add in a super chat, a super thanks. I don't know what these things are. I just know that it's encouraged for us to keep growing the platform, which is the key, right? We're trying to get to 3,000 subscriptions by week 1. That is September 2nd. It's getting ever so close. We're creeping up on 2,300. Not there yet, but 3K is the goal. And we're looking to add some more content once the season starts. So hopefully that will encourage more subscribers. Let's talk bourbon. Henry, what do you got going on in the if it's not bourbon, what is it?
Actually, I got some tequila right now, but I texted you guys earlier in the week. I was out celebrating with a friend on their birthday and ran into some 10-year pappy out there among
Nice.
the people.
What are they charging now for that, just generally speaking?
Where we were at, that was, I believe, $50 for.
Okay. I'm just curious.
I didn't pay, so it was.
Then it's free.
No, I was a little bummed. I asked the guy. They got an amazing selection there, and I asked him. I said, my one buddy said, "Hey, let's get something like in this range." So I asked the bartender, and these guys are pretty knowledgeable. I said, "Hey, what do you got? $50 pour, what would you recommend?" And I'm not a tourist, and the Pappy 10 years obviously great, but I've had that a couple, 2-3 times too. And I know a guy like that, he's got some shit back there for like $45 a pour that'll knock your socks off that I've never heard of. And that's what I wish he would have came up with. But
okay.
Next time.
Interesting.
Hey, don't give me, I've had the Pappy. Give me something I haven't had.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Jeff, anything in your glass?
Yeah, I got some of that rabbit hole high gold. Trying to get ready to finish that bottle off. So it's getting low. Figured I'd just put a topper on it.
There you go.
I don't know. I like it. I know you said you weren't a big fan, Joe, but I know I like it. It's nice and smooth.
No, I like it. I've liked
all
all the rabbit holes I've tried. I've liked.
It's the blue label, Shawn. I've swam down many a rabbit hole, and God damn it, I like this one.
Yeah, as long as you can come out in one piece, that's all that matters.
Glad you come.
Boom. Big Ten Media Days coming up this week. What is that? The 26th. I believe that's Wednesday and Thursday. Camp starts August 3rd. What do you guys think about them having fans at practice for the first two? Would you go for $30?
Yeah, I would go if I was close to there. I wouldn't drive 3.5 hours down to go see practice. That's going to be meaningless, other than, hey, you were in a practice. I mean, you're going to see them going hard, I think, but
you're going to be close to them though. You're going to get like really good views, better than in the stadium.
Yeah. The sales are limited too. There's not a ton of tickets on sale for this.
Oh, it's sold out already. Yeah. There's only 500 each day.
500, right? Yeah.
But then for 2,500, you could attend a luncheon with Ryan Day.
Well, I'd like to see if what it comes out and the people that did go. I'm sure it's 80% media, right? If only 500 tickets were sold.
Well,
it's good.
Well, is that going to be includes media? No, that's strictly for the fans.
Yeah, because the Buckeye following media wise is a good 100 probably on the beat. They would snap at those, snatch those tickets up. So I would imagine they would have to limit the amount of media credentials because now we're talking because there's 500, but they're going to be in the Woody indoor, right?
Yeah,
they won't be on the practice fields.
It's fucking early August.
That might be more miserable than it would be worth it, depending on the content you get, though. I mean, if you're watching the stretch line and fucking field goal attempts, that sucks. And if you're crammed in there, it's hot or whatever, and you're like, God damn, this is miserable. But if you're not going to see any, you're not going to go 11 on 11 first team D, first team O goal line shit. They're not going to give you that early in the start of spring or in the fall camp. But
I don't know if they're going to give you any of that. I think it's going to be more drills and stuff.
It's going to be individual drills.
Probably, mostly drills, and then hopefully, you get to see some one-on-ones, either red zone or even the linemen of one-on-ones. That would make it worth it to me. But like you said, Shawn, 3 hours or so drive for you. No, unless I knew exactly what I was going to be able to see, I wouldn't make that trip either. But if I was bumping around Columbus still, I might be interested in checking it out. Was it $50 a ticket, Joe? 25?
30
or something.
30? Okay.
Yeah,
I might check it out. Just to check it out. But I'm afraid it's going to be in most of the non-competitive stuff. You're not
getting 11 on 11 or 7 on 7.
I just said that. Well, I meant like the 101 drills. Like the O-line, D-line, or linebacker run game. Keys.
Yeah.
Anything like that. Obviously, it'd be great to watch. The goal line receiver DB. One-on-ones, but probably not likely. That's the first 2 days of camp. It's more just to get to show you how they practice, the schedule.
I think it'd be fucking awesome, man. Being in that smaller setting, like you're super close to the fucking players. I mean, 500 people, you might not even have much of a bleachers set up. You know what I'm saying? It might just be like you're standing there along a sideline or something, or around the field entirely.
Yeah.
So I want to get your take, moving on, about the gray unis. I'm going to share it right here so everybody can see. What do you think? You guys, I'm sure you saw these. First of all, CJ Barnett is not at his playing weight anymore. But regardless, what do you think? All grays with the scarlet numbers, scarlet stripes, scarlet shoes. I like that.
I don't like the gray. I'm not a particular fan of it. But I mean, it's fine. I would rather see the all whites. Or if you're going to do all the gray, do like our legitimate gray, a little darker. Like when I first saw this, I had to zoom in to know if it was white or gray. It just looks almost too light of a gray, in my opinion. So I would either like more of like a silver, like a darker, deeper gray.
Well, they've done the dark gray with that. Remember that 2016?
Yeah, Penn
JT
State.
Barrett, Penn State game.
Comeback.
That was like the wolf gray.
I like
that was
dark gray with the black numbers. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. I like that.
Okay, you like that. All right.
I don't mind this one either. I would actually I'd probably prefer, again, the gray is light, which I don't mind, go whatever. But I think I may prefer the if it was white letters, white numbers.
Okay. It'd be a little harder to see, but
that's your story, unless it was that darker gray. Yeah.
With the darker gray, white letters outlined in red, something like that. Just encompassing more of the gray and red together.
Who needs to see it though? I mean, I guess the press box.
Yeah, I just think about the players being seen, like having their numbers seen on TV is probably important. But I mean, you're doing this for recruiting purposes anyways, so that's how I think of it. That's how Urban Meyer used to look at it. If the recruits like it,
my daughter
we're
would
gonna
say,
do it.
That's drippy. That's drip.
There you go. Yeah. So we just dripped it. Yeah, I'm not impressed by these gloves. Yeah. If they're getting red shoes, though, that does work. That works for me. So anyway, let's pop in the chat, see what's happening. Sorry, haven't tried to ignore you on purpose, but just getting reacquainted with Jeff and Shawn. All right, so let's start from the top. Here we go. Tyrone is in here. He's a big fan of Notre Dame. What's up, everyone? Well, Notre Dame got him. Timper said, no, Tyrone's not a Notre Dame fan. I believe he lives in Notre Dame country, though. Timper says just 41 days till takes the field in Indy. Yep. Timper, hey, Tyrone. All right. What is that shit? We got somebody new in the comments. Black Mountain Cycles, you're welcome in here. Appreciate you. Says KVA was definitely a loss, but I think this class will be just fine. I agree with you. That's an excellent outlook. Let's see. Tipper says every victory for them is monumental. Yeah, that's a good point. Stephen Cherry is in here. Stephen Cherry, God damn it. We missed you. It's good
There
to
he
have you
is,
back.
Mad Dog.
He says it would be cool to see practice, but I'm old school. Keep the practices close to the public. Why is that? Are you worried that we got like state secrets in there and shit? Tipper says heat wave is expected. Steven says gray unis are crispy. And Tyrone says the all whites are my favorite. Yes, the cocaine whites are by far best ever. Especially, it helps that Braxton was wearing them, right? I mean, come on. Steven says, I agree with Tyrone. Chrome helmets. Yeah. Chrome helmets with the white unis were fire. as the kids would
That's
say.
what I was referring to. Yes, that is the number one alternate uni I've seen them wear so far.
They got to bring those back soon. It's been a long time, man. But
I know a game to bring them back
2013, right? Was
Yeah.
that 2013?
Yeah.
Because Braxton was quarterback.
Remember where that game was played?
Yeah, it was up north.
Our man that introduces us every Sunday had a pretty big play in that game. I think we bring them back for them.
Tyrone Levis, good job. Just kidding. All right, so quick recruiting update. If you haven't heard, 4-star linebacker Kingston Villiamasa committed to Notre Dame just a couple hours ago. Yes, this is a big, I wouldn't say a big loss. It is a loss because we were down into the final two, and we really we were the choice by him going into last week. I'll just say, from all the intel I have, he came back from a church-related retreat this past week and sat down with his mom, and mom said, "You're going to go to Notre Dame," basically. Not in so many words. I'm just kind of paraphrasing what she said, but mom had the influence here, along with the religious aspect of Notre Dame. So I'm not gonna say that's a negative thing. And of course, you got the academic side of Notre Dame. I'm not going to say any of that's negative, but Jeff and Shawn, you got a quick take on, is this a big loss, or do we just keep on moving?
Yeah, quick take, Joe. Yeah, I think it's a big loss because we felt pretty confident. I mean, as a staff, they felt pretty confident, like he was a go. He was in. A lot of the main guys that follow recruiting had all predicted, him committing. I don't. My quick take is, and this is just outside looking in, 30,000 feet away or whatever. I don't like the fact that mom controls her son's future like that. Just my take. She could turn out to be maybe one of those. It's just what's stated. I'm only going off what I read, and everything you read on the internet is true. So,
but she was for context. I get your point, Shawn. I know you like to question everything all the time, but yes. I will say she was seated right next to him in his commitment video. They were the only two in the video.
Like tons of moms.
What's that?
Like tons of moms. That doesn't.
Well, I'm not questioning the validity or the quality of his mom and the influence. I'm not saying none of that is bad. I'm just saying she had a major influence, and maybe that's great.
I'm not even saying. Of course she did. She's his mother. What I'm saying is, where's the information that it is? She said, "I want him to go to Notre Dame." Where's the proof of that?
Shawn, come on. I can't fucking find that. Are you serious? We're not in the house. I mean, come on. You don't have to question every little thing. Just say.
I'm not going to assume shit about people's families and stuff that mom was saying whatever.
Okay, Shawn.
I just in reference, Joe, it has been referenced in several outlets. I'll say that. Where mom has a big influence on this decision.
It's not unusual. And this wouldn't be the first time, right?
No, you're right. It's not, but it's not always stated, Christ. Overly stated like that. But she decided, it seemed, from his quote after the commitment, it didn't sound like Notre Dame is part of his future. Until it was told to him. That's how, I'm reading, that was his words that I read today. He said it was the only place he went where he didn't actually picture himself being, in the future. when he was on the visit there. But we know,
Exactly.
fuck it, he's gone. Let's go.
Well, we do have these quotes from Notre Dame insiders, quote unquote, which I don't know who they are. I could be a Notre Dame insider for all we know, but I would never tell you. From Notre Dame insiders on other boards and stuff, that Ohio State was his pick going into 48 hours ago. He was legitimately torn. This commitment is not on the steadiest of ground, and we're a long way from December. So the point is, you got 5 months until the first signing day. So you're looking at another possible Marquise Lightfoot situation,
Sure.
So we'll see.
But I don't. One thing else, Joe. This is the last thing. I don't understand why need to make a commitment now if it's that much up in the air that this could change. Why do you need to make a date? Why do you need to make an announcement now? Just keep your recruitment open if you're not totally sure.
Well,
if the mom is the mom not going to end up winning out? Is he going to end up being able to convince his mom that he does want to go to Columbus? I mean, why make a fucking announcement then?
A lot of times these kids feel pressure, whether it's from the teams or from the parents, because they want to. A lot of kids I get, and most of them want to do it before they start their fall season, but that's my guess. He wants to get it out of the way, but maybe if he's still torn, he's sticking to his commitment of announcing his commitment, but maybe the commitment to his commitment is not ironclad.
Well, I guess I'm sure he'll be at the Notre Dame game. Week 4 or week 5 is it this season?
4, yeah.
It's our 4th game. I think it's Notre Dame's 5th game, but I'm sure he'll be there. So maybe after that game, we fucking bash him over the head repeatedly. Maybe that could help convince him. I don't know if the coaching staff wants to keep messing with the kid and keep trying to build a relationship and try to convince mom. Have at it, guys. You know your time better than we do as fans.
I mean, is he that big of a game changer that this guy's that important to us? I mean, yeah, he's a good player, obviously, but I mean, there's a lot of other good players. I mean, to me, okay, you lost another top guy. We're in on all the top guys, and we lose more than we get. It's just the way it goes.
I think that'll
we got 2 linebackers in this class that are 4 stars, by the way. So
yeah. Well, that'll show how much interest we continue to show in him, I guess. If how much the coaching staff really feels about him, if they're going to continue, if they really want to try to flip him, back to us in the next 5 months. I mean, we'll figure that out by, what we hear down the road as far as trying to get him back on campus or whatever. Little updates will come out about.
I dare him to show up to Notre Dame for the Ohio State game.
Oh, I'm sure he will.
Please do.
I'm sure he will. So whatever. It's up to the staff. If they want to stick around with them, then be my guest. I guess help yourselves, guys. I would much rather turn focus on guys that haven't already said no to us, and try to close the fucking deal on the rest of these guys.
Well, that's the thing. We're limited in the linebacker room, but we already have 2. I mean, I don't know how we really need more linebackers right now. So yeah, I don't think it's a big priority. I do have a question that I kind of thought of this earlier because of some of the moronic people that post on message boards. This is a comment I read on a message board today. It said, after the commitment, it said, it's sad, but I need to point out that I'd put money on James Laurinaitis being more religious than Al Washington. Al Washington obviously being the coach at Notre Dame, but he's a D-line coach, so it's not really the same position. But this is the kind of shit that I read on message boards that fucking cracks me up. We're dissecting the religious levels of coaches.
Right. As if the mom was just weighing there. She's like, okay, over on this side, I got James Laurinaitis, man of God. On this side, I got whoever the linebacker coach is now. You say Golden's D-line or He's D9, and Al Golden is still the D coordinator, correct? Is he coaching linebackers? Maybe.
No, Al Golden's not there anymore, but it could be Marcus Freeman for all I know. But regardless,
whoever. But it's funny that the mom would have like a fucking chart. Religiousness, check this side. Academics, check this side. Going down there is one of the deciding factors.
From a fan's point of view, it's like a dude that knows nothing about these coaches is trying to weigh in on the level of religious factor. It's like, shut the fuck up. But anyways, that just caught my eye today. But
I hate the academic standpoint of it too. When you're one of these high-ranked kids, it's like, guess what? If you're a big-time athlete, guess what? There's some serious programs at Ohio State that if you want to get into them and challenge yourself, you're more than welcome to take them, pal. But that's not what you're taking. You're going to take a general studies degree, and it's the same as Michigan's is. And it's like, well, I got a degree from Michigan. I guess that sounds more prestigious, or Notre Dame. But is it really?
Yeah, it's still physical education. Right, that's your degree. Right, just in different colored arena. So a quick question for you guys, and this is what I see a lot also. This was prompted by the message boards. You can see I spent too much time there today. Is this so? Typically when there's a win in linebacker recruiting, Laurinaitis gets the credit, but if there's a loss, Knowles gets the credit for that. So who do you blame for this loss?
I blame the kid's mom.
Okay. I like it.
I don't blame anybody. If the kid made a decision on the place he wanted to go after whatever, I don't blame anybody.
I know, but
I'm good with it.
Message boards, like, you got to assign blame to somebody on the staff.
I know, but I think it's dumb too. I think we were in there. I don't think Knowles or Laurinaitis did anything wrong. They did everything right. And then just at the end of the day, kids make decisions, and that's that.
Exactly. It sounds like Ohio State did everything that they could have to turn the tide back away from Notre Dame, because I think that's where it was originally. A lot of this may have been to the relationship that Laurinaitis developed with the kid. But Ohio State was, had become the leader and I had heard from the USC side as well that USC was always his first choice, but they honestly were giving Ohio State the lead in this recruitment. I think the coach said did what, a good enough job to land a recruit, just like they do for a lot of these guys. This kid just happened to maybe 60% or 50% of the choice was his. Maybe not up to 90 or 100%, like maybe some other kids. So yeah, kid made decisions. Kid's family made decision for him. Whichever, it is what it is. We need to move on. We don't need to go pick up another linebacker, I don't think, to fill that spot. I think there's plenty of other 4 and 5 stars we're in on. Let's just focus on them and securing them. You're right, Joe. We don't need to just fill a linebacker spot in the cycle. We have the 2 we really wanted. So I think you just move it on. If we end up with 26 and 20 instead of 27, then so be it.
Yeah. So we turn our sights to cornerback Aaron Scott a week from today. Mm-hmm. That is the next high priority, and keep it moving. So that's enough.
That's a whole different level. That will be a whole different level for me personally if we lose that one.
Interesting.
Yeah,
okay. Why is that?
That doesn't even compare.
Because an in-state guy.
In-state, I feel like it's
Dad's a Buckeye.
It's a position that we need. It's the team that if we lose out on that, the team he goes to is Michigan, and just a whole number of things.
Okay. Let me pop into the chat before we get off this topic. I want to move on to positionless defense. Let's see. Steven says back-to-back recruiting L's for Knowles. This man is making too much money. too much coin to miss. Yeah, I understand. The question is, if you want to fire him for a couple recruiting losses, who do you hire?
No, well,
he's one of the best in the country. That's why we're paying him $2 million. So where do you go?
No.
What?
We're not firing people for losing a couple of recruits. He might still sign to five stars to that defense.
Yeah,
still possible. We can't say because you didn't get a certain 4-star who was down to us in Notre Dame. You can't. I mean, I don't consider that. I mean, yeah, he took the L. I guess if there's a winner and a loser, we took the L. But that shouldn't go to his resume as far as like fireable offenses. The only thing that matters with our defense is performance on the field. I don't give a shit if he is all 4 stars. He can make all he can make all 4 stars become a great defense.
At some point you have to prove some development, right? I mean,
I'm glad. Yeah, I mean, this is people talking. I'm glad the coaches are definitely not looking at Ryan Day's not looking at. Oh damn, we lost out on KVA. Knowles, another strike against him. This is mounting up.
This is going on your permanent file. Knowles.
Yeah, Ryan Day's worried about giving up the big play against the teams that are competitive against us. Penn State, Michigan, maybe Wisconsin. Don't give up the big fucking plays that get us upset. That's what's going to keep his job or not. It's not these 4-star losses, not at all.
Right. So we got Daniel in here. He says it's pivotal. Ohio State closes with Aaron Scott and one of Edric Houston or Dylan Stewart. What if we get both of those? I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility, Daniel. But yeah, I agree with you. Those 3 are key. Tipper says Knowles never recruited good, hired him for scheme and development. That's a good note that people need to keep in mind. That's why James Laurinaitis is the GA under Knowles for the linebackers. Thought that was always obvious. Maybe not. What else? Steven says if you're paying he disagrees. He says if you're paying a defense coordinator, $2 million, he has to do more than implement a scheme and develop. Well, why?
Well,
if you got a James Laurinaitis working as your understudy, seems like that should be his responsibility is recruiting when you get guys on campus. He can text, call, he can do all the stuff other than travel.
But it falls on Knowles. It ultimately falls on Knowles.
Okay, I hear you. I hear you because he's the head coach of the defense, which is still a strange title to give. But what else? Daniel says Ohio State only plays 2 linebackers anyways. We're fine. I agree. That's why I don't know why everybody's so hung up on a 3rd linebacker. That's my 2 cents on the back end of that. Timper, I know Al coaches D-line. That's why I thought it was weird that people were commenting about. Well, Al Washington was one of the recruiters on KVA. So that's the reason why the comparison came out.
Let's get next week, Joe. Let's get into Al Washington's religious background and let's really dive in deep on
all right.
How
that's
religious
fine.
is this guy?
I'll see if I can get him on the show too.
I gotta wash my hair that night.
No, Steven, I didn't say you said fire him, but there is a segment of the fan base, the Ohio State fan base, that is very anti-Knowles, and every little slight against him they use as fodder to fire him. Not you, Steven. I'm not saying that. So just wanted to lay that out. So let's talk some defensive football, positionless. Shawn, I wanted to present this to you mostly, but we can all talk about it. Let me lay out the topic and give everybody some context so we all know what we're talking about. But Shawn, you said last week that's a topic you wanted to go on to talk about. So I'll give you the floor after I kind of lay this out. I'll try and be brief in my briefs. No, I'm wearing pants. Nope, those are briefs. All right. Positionless defensive football does not mean a defensive end that can play middle linebacker and safety. It's about getting the best personnel on the field at one time. You see this a lot on offense as well. So it's not just one-sided. So the most important thing is to have versatile players that can play multiple positions. So versatility, key. Hybrid players, key. That's what we're talking about. Offenses and quarterbacks today are so much different in the NFL and college. Defenses need guys who are not just smart enough to be in the right position, but they also have to have this athletic skill set to make a play when the offense breaks down and the quarterback decides to improvise, whether it's scrambling, looking to throw, whatever. Offenses are always trying to create mismatches, right? So how do you stop this approach from the offense? You need players that are physical enough, athletic enough to take on blocks, stop the run, and still have that speed and athleticism to cover downfield. So it's a very unique combination, right? Not everybody has this. So you got your tweeners, a lot of people call them hybrids, whatever. They become more important than ever to stop this new age offense with RPOs and those types of concepts and more athletic quarterbacks, right? So
Sure.
Speaking from a defensive point of view, think of guys in the NFL, and I'll give NFL guys. And at the end, I want to give you some Ohio State guys to think about that might compare. So Tyrann, whatever, from LSU, remember him? Jamal Adams, those are NFL examples of these positionless guys that can play anywhere. At times, they were their team's best safety, linebacker, slot corner, and sometimes a pass rusher even. So you don't have to take them off the field in particular situations like you would maybe a linebacker or a D lineman, So regardless of the situation, you could leave these guys on the field. And they can change how a defense attacks opposing offenses. So another one is Derwin James. Remember him out of UCLA? When he went to the Chargers, he was used in dime packages with 6 DBs in their base defense. They did that 64% of the time with Derwin James. He could play all over the field, handle all kinds of responsibility, and he could cover ground like a deep safety, stay in man coverage like a corner, stuff the run like a linebacker, and still give you that pass rushing edge type of quality too. So on the defense, there's a lot of guys that can do that stuff. But on offense, there's a ton of highly athletic tight ends. Think of Travis Kelce. Yeah, he's a tight end, but he's really just one of the best slot receivers in the NFL at 6'5", 260, and he's not the only one, I know. But he's an example of, with Kelce on the field, the Chiefs can go into 12 personnel, 1 running back, 2 tight ends, and then make it look like 11 or 10. So they can bring him on and use him, and it'll utilize him in different situations and give you different looks. Then you got Deebo Samuel, great example of a guy that is a running back / wide receiver at 6 foot 215. Was it 2021? He had 77 receptions, over 1,400 yards, but he still had 59 carries out of the backfield for 365 yards. That's crazy for one guy to do. And to give you Ohio State examples, you got Sonny Styles. Obviously he's the most recent. He's like a big safety, that can come down and play almost a linebacker / safety role. Who knows? He could even be utilized as an edge rusher, at 6'4", and he'll probably get up to 230, 240. Court Williams, to me, was the first person I thought of, because I remember he played outside linebacker in high school at Bosco, coincidentally enough. And he put on weight. He's probably 230, I don't know, 6'3"-ish. So he's kind of that tweener size between safety and linebacker. But he's one of those guys that I could see being one of these tweener hybrid types. Another one is Baron Browning. Dumbass fucking Billy Davis tried to pencil him into a Mike linebacker spot. No, he's an outside linebacker, and he's an edge rusher, as you can see in the NFL today.
Dude, he looks like Von Miller. He looks just like Von Miller did with Denver. When they traded Von Miller, he took Von Miller's spot, and I'm like, oh shit, he's a rush end.
Yeah,
he's fucking TJ Watt.
Never a Mike.
Never.
And then for the Buckeyes, just to finish up on the Buckeye examples, you got Demarion Witten coming in this 24 class. He is a big receiver. He's like 6'4", 215. He's recruited as a tight end, but he could play a flex out wide receiver. Then you got Xavier Johnson. Kind of. He's not quite that big yet, but maybe someday. But Xavier Johnson, he played both running back and receiver last year. He had 13 catches, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns, but then had 12 carries, 146 yards, 1 touchdown as a running back. So these are examples of the Buckeye hybrids to compare to the NFL. So let me kick it to you, Shawn. So I wanted to get your thoughts on, are you seeing this in high school ball right now, or what's your take on positionless defense?
Well, I think it's, I think we kind of tried it, and unsuccessfully, frankly, last year with this jack position. And we tried it in years past, kind of like, hey, let's put our best dude in this spot because he needs to be out there, and kind of let him free roam. And no, we do have dudes. And if you have, the thing is that the amount of guys that can do that it's not that many. And like you said, you're not gonna, Aaron Donald, I guess in the NFL would be the guy can play anywhere on the D line. And we do some of that already when we bring in rushman package. We kind of, it's like, okay, it's not traditional D tackles in there and whatnot. So a lot of it's situational, but there's few guys that can do it all. But you're right, Sonny Styles probably can. I think they thought Jack could. Maybe Jack can. We'll see. You're saying the new guy coming in. I think Hicks could find a way to be one of those guys that's out there and doing things. Whether that's rushing on the edge, I don't know what his weight's up to or anything, but he was sitting about 230. Where that guy came in super highly rated. Where would he be on something like this?
I would say the jack position is a perfect example of these hybrid positions.
Yeah, so I don't know if I see it necessarily on the football that I've been watching, like my kids' team and that, but it kind of doesn't matter. The coach is trying to put his 12 best dudes on the field. And, some kids are like, well, hey, I wanted to be here. It's like, well, hey, sorry, that's not where you're at, because I'm putting the 12 best kids on the field. If I put you there, I got a problem here, And so, I think it's kind of like that at every level. But when you got some special talented kids, and then it just frees things up, and that's when these kids just look like, otherworldly.
Yeah, and the other thing is, I wanted to point out that a lot of times people read these headlines, positionless defense, and they think that everybody, all 11 guys are like, do all, cover all hybrid types.
Cover Dante Adams.
Yeah. No. You can't have a group of 11 positionless guys, because the offense will adjust and probably run your ass over, if you got a bunch of 265-pound guys out there, And same if you go with all big dudes. I mean, I've seen people not really think it through and think about, how offenses would adjust. So just want to point that out. It's about versatility, having players that can play multiple positions. It should be called multiple position defense.
The thing is, everything the
positionless.
sport is such a science anymore, and everything's so specialized that now you have specialists for every situation. Okay, It's third and long, and you got a whole different offensive set in there. And you got a whole new defensive set in there on both sides of the ball. Everything's so specialized. So it's, unless you're again one of these freaks like Sonny Styles, or someone of that caliber, how can you be in there all the time and all the situational? Because again, they're putting you in those spots.
That's the perfect point right there. Is there are so few of these guys, you could never field an entire team with them, that have the qualities you need. Jeff, you got a tape?
Yeah. I think you hit the nail on the head, Joe, when you said we're saying it's not positionless, but it's multiple guys in your defense that can do multiple things according to what an offense may show you, in varying sets and that kind of stuff. Like you're referring to Sonny Styles or CJ Hicks. Yeah, those guys might be able to cover a tight end in the slot. They also might be able to blitz off the edge. They can also play, in pass coverage. So you're right. I 100% agree with you. You pretty much laid it out. It's having multiple guys on your defense that can do multiple things. So you're not having to bring in 6 new guys on a 3rd and 15. You're not trading out half of your starters because you have like Shawn said, a 3rd and long nickel package or a dime package. You have a guy that may be able to go from an outside linebacker. Oh, now he can play down in the box safety, and maybe your safeties have the capability of moving, and covering a slot. So you keeping the same guys out there, your best 11, say, and that's why you don't have a whole defense full of them, because everybody wants those fucking people. And, they're highly sought after. So, but that's what positionless defense is. It's just you having your guy being able to do, your guy that's a great safety or a great strong safety, but having him be able to stay on the field in any situation, to be able to cover a guy, to be able to show blitz, to be able to protect and run support, and and be knowledgeable as far as getting other people lined up, and helping, kind of that coach on the field. Having all of that stuff is what the idea is behind positionless football. And like you said, Joe, it's more multiple positions than it is positionless, similar to basketball. Now you have a ball handler, a big, and 3 wings. And those 3 wings can be anywhere from 6'2" to fucking 6'8" or 6'9", but you got to have a tall guy that can hit a 3. You know what I mean? So your tall guy that used to play in the post, now he's got to be able to hit 3s and come out and bring a defender out. Same thing as in basketball or in football. Like you said, you're referring to Kelsey. Kelsey can run in a no tight end set, a double tight end set, 3 receivers. You can put him in the backfield as an H-back.
Right.
You just having those best players of yours able to do more than just their set thing.
Right. And the key is, like, when an offense goes in hurry up, you don't have to be stressed about who's on the field because you can't substitute, right? Yeah, that's the key. If you have to substitute to every package the offense has on the field, that's how they get you.
Yeah, because they're looking for the weakness. Where did they miss? Where did they miss the guy? Where
So we got
what
this.
Guy did
yeah, you see Ryan Day do it all the time. We got this matchup on field. Let's go. Get up to the line and let's call the play because we got a great matchup.
Until they can stop it, until they fix it.
Until they come in with their hybrid player, tweener, whatever, tweenie.
But that's it. Like
the
most
tweenie
of the teams
car
we
wash.
play, most of the teams in that Big Ten, Joe, we don't play enough of those teams that have maybe but more than one of those guys. Or any. Most teams, none. But maybe Penn State might have one guy on a defense that can, a guy or two that could do that.
Yeah.
But you just go for you exploit somewhere other on the field.
Yeah, Micah Parsons would be a guy like that. Micah could do anything.
Exactly.
Justin Simmons from Clemson, great example.
Yeah, Isaiah Simmons.
Isaiah Simmons, not Justin Simmons. Sorry, Isaiah Simmons.
He's doing the same things in the NFL for the Cardinals right now. Lining up at multiple positions. You never have to take him off the field. You just have to change his assignment according to the offense.
And like you said, that we can't. Nobody has a bunch of those guys, not even Bama, because everybody wants them. Like those guys, they don't.
They're so rare. They're so fucking rare.
So every team fights over them, fights like hell for them. Georgia gets a few of them. We get a few of them. Bama gets a few.
Yeah, but there's only a couple of them.
Those Minka Fitzpatricks, those type players. You know what I mean? Those guys that can do just about anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, our defense. We were trying to procure as many of them as possible, but so is everyone else. It's no secret, So they're highly sought after, and those are the guys we see at the top of these rankings. Sonny Styles reclassified and still would have been a top 10 player in the country, after reclassifying. And he was a top 5 guy as a junior, I think. He was. I know he was a high 5-star. He was top.
He's the number one
top
safety.
10, number one safety, probably close to top 10 in the country. There's a reason for that, because people saw, look at his frame. He can do this right now, but look, we'll be able to do 5 different things with him in another year or two. Right.
But circling back, just to close up the loop on this topic before we get into our defensive two deeps, I just wanted to make it clear that you cannot play an entire defense of 11 hybrid guys. I just want people to picture that. So,
I don't know who the hell would want to do that.
I've seen people openly talk about it.
You get run on hard.
Fuck yeah.
I mean,
or if you bring in all big guys, let's say you bring in all 300 pounders, you're gonna really match up against those receivers with the fucking nose tackle.
You don't have to be a mind of Ryan Day on offense to be like, hey, they don't have any guys that can stop the run. Why don't we just run the ball? Or they got a 260-pound guys covering our receivers out on the outside. Well, let's just throw it up to them. That's just obviously that would just all they would do is just give you problems after problems. That's why nobody does it.
All right, so I think we're losing them in the chat and the live viewership. So let's move on to the Buckeyes two deep on defense. I think we nailed that positionless defense topic. Although I do appreciate it because I believe Temper was the guy that originally asked me that a couple of weeks ago, and so I did some studying, and I'm glad we broke it down. Temper, hopefully you appreciate that. But I don't know. It is the way of the future. I don't know if it's going to ever grow to more than like 2 guys on the field at the same time that are hybrids. That'd be a stretch to get you to
that all depends too on how the offenses evolve. I mean, the defenses are going to be reacting to what offenses are doing. So as offenses get more multifaceted and everything, that's how that'll fluctuate. If we go back to a stronger running game, possess the clock type style of football, you're going to see more of the traditional big linebackers, safeties able to do what safeties do. So it's offenses will dictate what the defense is, how they look for players.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's top into this 2 deep, starting off with the DNs. Who wants to go first? Shawn, how you feeling?
Sure. Well, you got
Can
the
you give me your 2 deep?
Yeah, you got the no-brainer, JT Tumalo, top 10 pick in next year's draft. At the one end, the other end, you got Jack Sawyer. Also could be a first-round draft pick, depending on the type of year he has. Hasn't lived up to all the hype yet. Tumalo was kind of breaking through last year, so rock solid starting there. Behind Sawyer, I'd put that freak Kenyatta Jackson, the Terminator.
Okay.
And you always hear the good things about Caden Curry. I probably got him in that rotation. Yeah. I don't know about I don't know about the other guys so much.
Okay. Jeff, what do you got for your two deep? Anything different? No? Great. Moving on. I got JT, Jack as my starters, Kenyatta and Caden as my backups as well. So really no difference there. It's getting to be a nice deep group. Looks like Jeff has dropped off due to his shoddy Wi-Fi. So we'll see what happens there as far as Amari Abor goes. You also got Josh Mickens, Jason Moore coming in as freshmen. Don't expect a lot of contributions from them, but those are guys on the come up. I'm gonna hit on the jack because I think we need to address the jack position as part of the defense, even though I know it would be like a 12th position, but there will be times where the jack is there. And I'm going to go Mitchell Melton being your starter or your first jack off.
First jack in, first jack off.
Jack in, whatever. Sounds worse. Then CJ Hicks backing him up. So
Jeff,
what
are you hearing? What are you hearing on this Mitchell Mountain?
Hold up. Let me let Jeff get the D end too deep in there.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know if I lost you earlier, Joe. I had the same four. It's JT, it's Jack, Curry, and Kenyatta. I don't know which side, who's backing up who.
It doesn't matter.
You know, that fluctuates right now.
Yeah.
But that's it should be clearly the top four DNs. I don't know how much the rotation will really extend in normal gameplay behind those four. Barring no injuries, we might see some freshmen on the field, but that's the four DNs. I mean,
so the jack, I went with Mitchell Melton and CJ Hicks on the occasion that we use that. Who knows if that's 25% of the time? Jim Knowles said it was 15% last year they used it, but it seemed like Jack Sawyer was off the ball quite often.
Yes.
What have you been hearing about Mitch Mountain?
He was penciled in last spring before blowing out his knee in the spring game as the jack. That's why Sawyer had to hop in and take the role.
All coaches have mentioned him. Yeah, he's been mentioned a lot.
Nice.
We don't know because we haven't seen him, but I mean the coaches have seemed last year. The coaches have seemed real enthused or excited for the opportunity of him. So I'm strictly based. I'm with Joe. I think Mitchell Melton, he's the only guy that we've ever heard talk about that position, really.
Well, also CJ Hicks.
Until his injury. CJ Hicks should be on the field. Any opportunity possible, we should be getting CJ Hicks on the field.
Yeah, it's about how many responsibilities can he absorb, if he's going to be utilized at the linebacker position in a rotation, or is it just strictly a backup jack, so we'll see. But Mitchell Melton, whenever they're using the jack, again, who knows how often that will be, Mitchell Melton will be the guy. He's a fourth-year guy. He's that tweener size. He's like, 6'3", 240 or something like that. So he's, kind of a linebacker, not a DN, has the qualities of a DN. So that hybrid role that we were just talking about. So D tackle, let's talk D tackle. Jeff, what do you got at your D tackle rotation? Or too deep, I should say.
Michael Hall, if he's healthy, he should be a clear starter and be getting as many plays as he can possibly stand on the field. I think we should not, just rotate him for the sake of rotating. If he needs a break, get him a break. But it all starts with Michael Hall. At the other side, I don't know. Is Tyleek going to play the same position as Michael Hall, or is he going to be able to play off of him? So I don't know if we're going to have So, the two tackles. So, I think Tyleek and Michael Hall are two most talented.
Nice.
Ty Hamilton, Hero Canoe are I see the rotation as those four. So is it Ty Hamilton or is it Tyleek getting more of the starter reps? But I think Michael Hall, number one, should be getting all the reps he could possibly handle in a game. With Tyleek and Ty battling it out for the other starting spot, and Hero Canoe as the fourth.
Okay. Shawn, what do you think of that?
I think it'll be Hall for sure, and I'd probably go Ty Hamilton right now. I think Ty Hamilton is more steady Eddie than Tyleek. Tyleek flashes, then disappears, I feel. I don't know. Could be wrong about that. That's just in my head. But we brought in that kid, that Tywone Malone.
Right.
We didn't bring him in for shits and giggles.
Yeah. Played some SEC ball. Had like 100 snaps or like a couple seasons. Didn't do much with it, but yeah.
So is that 8 snaps at the end of this game and blowouts and stuff?
Well, that's it. Like that's why it's hard for me to put in those transfers. Just because, I mean,
no.
Remember when we got Antoine Jackson from Auburn, and that was a big fucking deal that Antoine Jackson, and he was just another depth piece for us, but he was supposed to be a huge piece to our interior D line, and people like Robert Landers and when he was younger, Landers then moved ahead of him, and then over the years started kept coming up and moving past him. So I'm not going to get too excited on a transfer D tackle.
Okay.
I would like to see that Hero Canoe do something.
So I'll put the guys in the system. Yeah. True.
Yeah. I'm going to go. So I've been saying this for a while now. I got Mike Hall, Tyleek, and Ty Hamilton on a 3-man rotation that basically equals out to the same number of snaps by the end of the year. Not necessarily who's starting. It's more about the 3-man rotation at D tackle. You definitely can't go with 2 guys getting all the snaps. Teron Vincent led the team last year. He had almost 500. And I'm not sure they were all high quality snaps, let's say, to be nice. So
how many useful, Joe? Like 48?
I don't know, but to compare, I mean, Mike Hall and Tyleek only had like under 250 each compared to 500 of Teron. So I think Hall, Tyleek, Ty Hamilton are all going to be on a similar number of snap counts by the time the year is done. I know it's not going to be identical game to game, but then behind them, though, you're going to have some depth with Tywone Malone and Hero Canoe. Look for Hero to be our hero in at least the second team of the D tackle position. Linebacker.
Well, it's huge because you know what? That team up north has been running it on us, and we need to be solid and deep at the tackle position.
Well, they didn't run it on us too much last year. So if you want to start that Michigan proved that we were soft conversation, that's going to be a whole long show.
Yeah.
Because I would like to refute that. Linebackers, obviously, Tommy, Steele, your starters, no question. Backups, I got Cody Simon at the mic, CJ Hicks at the will. And I think, again, Cody Simon gets overlooked. The guy was a starter for all of 2021 with a bum shoulder that he had to have surgery on before the Rose Bowl in 2021. And Hicks is going to get into a little bit of a rotation. I'm not saying Steele's coming off the field, 50% of the time, but I'm looking for Jim Knowles to rotate those weak side linebackers with Steele and CJ. CJ is going to see some snaps on defense. He saw none snaps on defense last year. All of his snaps were on special teams. So that's what I got. Jeff, what do you got there? Shawn, what do you got there?
Yeah, that sounds about right. And I'm with you. And like I think we had a podcast on when we think so and so will take
barring,
over
obviously,
the
all this
other
barring injury.
the other person's spot. And I'm with you on CJ Hicks. I think he'll be in there quite a bit. But going back to like the positionless defense, I mean, depending on the team you're playing, could you have all four of those guys in there in a certain package, playing Iowa or some shit like that?
Yeah, I guess. Sure. You're gonna have those games when you need a third linebacker at least.
For sure.
Yeah, it won't be Wisconsin this year because they're bringing in an air raid offensive coordinator. But yeah, your Michigan's definitely you're going to need three linebackers. Obviously, it depends on what the offense brings up. I don't know what Minnesota's doing nowadays, but
who cares what Minnesota's doing?
go ahead, Jeff. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm sorry you guys didn't hear me earlier. Yeah, I had the same as you. It's the same as you. Cody Simon, CJ Hicks are definitely they would start for a lot of teams. I think if Simon was healthy, I think he'd start for just about every team in the Big Ten outside of us. Those goal line packages will definitely, where you have at least three linebackers on the field. And CJ Hicks is a star. I mean, he's got to be able to crack the field this year. And if not, then we have to look at questions as to why is he not ready? Why have the coaches not been able to get him ready? But Steel Chambers and Ty Meichenberg have proven to be starters. They're both solid. They could both be all Big Ten. Eichenberg, All-American, possibly. And I think we have two solid backups.
Yeah.
One at each position. So
yeah, but like you said, both those guys, not just the Big Ten, both those guys could be starting on damn near any team in the country. I feel.
How many teams right now would love to have CJ Hicks as their starting sophomore linebacker?
Yeah.
Very, very, very large amount of SEC and Big Ten schools. Maybe,
You're not even mentioning Gabe Powers, by the way.
I mean,
Reed Carrico.
I know.
Well, exactly.
Are those guys going to transfer
I was going to
out?
say, barring injury, because not at this point. I mean, fall camp starts in 2 weeks. I guess maybe after fall camp, all right, the window back opens again right before the season starts. Is that correct?
I don't think there's a window
portal
until after the season.
Well, then they're not going to leave school. You know what I mean?
They're
not
stupid
leave
anyways.
School.
Yeah.
I can't imagine us having the same situation as we did a couple years ago with Trajan Mitchell and what's his name?
What
was the other guy?
And aren't three of them gone next year?
Kayvon Pope.
What's that, Shawn?
Aren't three of them gone next year? So maybe they're saying, "Hey, okay, I'll be in the 2D next year." Eichenberg will be gone. Chambers is gone. Simon's a senior.
Yeah,
I thought Simon would have one more year. I thought he'd have one more year. But
he doesn't. He doesn't have a red shirt, so yeah, he's done.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think I feel good about those guys being, third string, even. So I mean, because we know we're going to deal with some injuries. Everybody in that linebacker core has dealt with an injury or at least one in the last year or two. So we may be seeing Carrico and Gabe Powers. I like Gabe Powers coming out of high school a lot. I don't think he cracks the top two deep though, barring injury, of course.
Yeah. Okay. Cornerback. Let's talk corners. I'm going to go Denzel and Hancock. Then I got Igbinosun and Jair Brown. I will say I see a bit of a rotation. I'm not going to say that these three guys have equal snaps throughout the season, but Igbinosun is going to crack that lineup and he's going to get some serious snaps. He's bringing a lot of confidence to the room. And Jair Brown started a game last year when we were short on DBs against Wisconsin. And he started as a true freshman. So Shawn, what do you think? What kind of rotation or what kind of two deep you got there?
I'm with you. It's going to be Burke and Hancock to start it, but I think you're right on with Jair Brown. He could easily overtake either one of those two, along with Igbinosun. And lately been reading that Lorenzo Styles. Is this kid going to come on and be able to crack that two deep? I read good things about him.
Right. I agree.
Ooh. There's some strong names in between there.
Experience is the only thing lacking with Lorenzo Styles Jr. He was a good corner in high school, and Brian Hartline actually told him that when they were recruiting him to Ohio State, and he chose to play wide receiver at Notre Dame. So eat it, Irish. That's a loss for you. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he factors in, how he adjusts. But I got Jeff. What do you got at your corners?
With health being 100%, it's Hancock and Burke. I think we'll earn those spots. Igbinosun, like you were saying, as the tackle rotation as part of a corner rotation being like that with Igbinosun. I think he's a player. Just the impacts he's made in those scrimmages in the spring, where coaches were bringing up his name, and the media guys that saw the one-on-one red zone battles, he wasn't shying away from Marv or Emeka or any of those guys. Jair Brown, Jermaine Matthews. I think Jermaine Matthews as a freshman can see the field as well.
Okay.
It's curious today. I was looking around just at other outlets as far as what they were listing as the projected two deep, and I came across one that did not have Jordan Hancock listed at all. They had Jair Brown and Jermaine Matthews backing him up opposite Denzel and Igbinosun.
I wouldn't listen to that outlet.
Looking through, I'm like, well, that's funny. That's weird. No backup article to support that, but I just caught that as a little funny.
Was that
but I think it's Hancock and Burke.
That's scary.
That was our revered Sports Illustrated when I saw that.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't trust those guys.
I wasn't trusting anybody. I was
20 years.
I was looking around to get a general consensus of what these publications were saying, and it was shocking that his name wasn't even on it at all. But I think it's Hancock and Burke. Injuries aside.
All right. Safeties. So let's start with the free safety and the strong safety. Then we'll do the nickel / slot safety separately. So give me your two field, bandit, adjuster, alpha, tango, whatever, Shawn.
It'll be Proctor.
Okay. Where?
At the free safety. Safety.
Post.
And I'm pretty sure it'll be Ransom at the other spot. Start the season. Game 1 starter.
Wow. Who you got backing them up?
I just think with Noel's system that you always hear is complicated and what these guys are both experienced, a lot of experience in this system, or not in this system particularly, but playing college football and just knowing it. I think they just got a leg up. But then you got Sonny Styles in that mix, and I wouldn't be surprised to figure out a way to probably Ransom take over Proctor's spot and Sonny slide into the strong safety spot. Kind of how I would see that going. And then I don't know, maybe Court Williams.
Yeah, we don't even know what's going on with him, man. He had shoulder surgery in the off season around the playoffs, and then was doing individual drills when he was working out in spring. Jeff, what do you got going on? with the safety group. Okay. I'll give you mine as we wait for Jeff to reconnect or whatever. So the coach's preference, according to what we saw in spring. All right. So we can only go by what our eyeballs show us. Oh, go ahead.
So you're it would be your deep safety, your free safety. Yeah. Yeah, I say. Sorry.
Go.
Yeah, interference here. I think Proctor does end up winning his starting job.
Wow.
To start the season with Styles replacing him before the Notre Dame game. Lathan Ransom as our, with that strong safety, bandit, I guess. Probably back nickel. I don't know. Is Jihad Carter maybe? Does Jihad win that nickel corners slot or the nickel safety?
We're just doing the first two safety spots. We'll get to the corner slot. All right, I'm going to go starters. So in the spring ball,
okay,
the coaches wanted to see Sonny Styles at the adjuster.
Starting for game one, I got Proctor and Rand.
Okay. So again, in spring ball, the coaches worked Sonny at the field safety, Lathan at the bandit, so the strong safety, and then their backups were Kai Stokes and Josh Proctor. My preference would be kind of flipped. I would have Lathan Ransom at the adjuster, the field safety, and Sonny at the bandit. So up in the box with run support, things like that. So I definitely would not have Josh Proctor starting ever. He hasn't shown me the ability to do anything in 5 years. I think he may even play his way back to the bench if he were to start. But at least this is kind of a deep room right now. I know we don't have any. We have young guys, but I wouldn't feel good putting them on the field with Bonsu, Hartford, and Hawkins. But then getting into the slot corner or nickel, whatever you're going to call it, it should be a corner body and not a safety body. That's why Cam Martinez is there, and you brought in Jihad Carter. Cam took reps with the ones all spring long, but you brought in Jihad Carter. He's a 3-year starter at Syracuse in the exact same defense. You brought him in. You're not going to play him. That would be surprising. And he's played all three positions, by the way, all safety positions in the same defense. So that tells you he has that versatility like we were talking about. So I guess depending on the matchup, maybe he gets in there and they work some guys in and out. So, Shawn, what do you think? And I guess you gave me your safeties, but what about the nickel slot?
I don't know. You know, I've always been a sucker for Cam Martinez.
Yeah.
He'll be the guy, I think.
Okay.
I think he's got it, but but again, I say all this, but I still kind of feel that on Sonny Styles is going to be starting day one. How's he not starting? And
yeah,
they didn't bring in Jihad Carter to screw around, so I wouldn't be surprised if he got that spot.
Yeah, exactly. Checking out the chat. Jeff, are you in there? Okay.
I'm right here. I'm right here.
Hey,
give me your safeties as quickly as possible.
Bro.
Safeties, go.
You didn't get any of my safeties earlier?
No.
All right. Proctor, Ransom start day one. I think Jihad Carter starts in the slot. I think, Sonny Styles obviously backs him up. I think Styles backs up Proctor. He takes the spot before the Notre Dame game and plays the majority of the season. Jihad Carter, I think his experience is going to pay off. I like him in the slot with Cam backing him up. And who do we have?
Yeah. That's why you got to get in and out. Let's check the chat. This might be the best show ever.
Or Kai Stokes. Is Kai Stokes backing up the slot, I'm not sure where Cam.
No, Kai Stokes is a free, most likely. In the chat, we got Tipper says channeling Stephen Hawking is yes, very accurate. Tipper, thank you. Badass Buckeyes in here. Appreciate you, badass. Says Mike Hall is the key to our D line. Definitely. Steven says CJ Hicks has to be on the field. Yeah, just how much is the question. Steven also says Sonny Styles has to be on the field too. Again, how much is the question? No, who can? You're not a red-blooded American if you argue with that, or a red-blooded Buckeye fan. Temper says, who do you think should coach the corners, Walton or Eliano? Steven says Eliano. I don't know how I can judge that at all. It does seem redundant to have two secondary coaches. I will say that. That's different.
Well, the way they've been playing, they need some extra coaching, so I'm not against it.
All right. Jeff, sorry, we're having major trouble with your connection. I couldn't get most of that last group of safety talk, but
it's the same. It doesn't matter. Same.
Cam Martinez and Jihad Carter. How do you feel about them, starter and backup?
I think Jihad start. I think Jihad wins the starting job.
Okay.
Back to you.
Cam Martinez does not. Okay. They're both the same class, 2020 guys. So this is their fourth year. Probably time to go, as far as making a move. So, all right. That's all I got for you guys. I dare to go longer, but appreciate everybody joining us. Hopefully, appreciate you, Tyrone. Tyrone's in here. Damn it, Tyrone. Nice. First time I saw you. Appreciate you guys. Again, keep an eye on the prize. A week from today, Aaron Scott. He's going to be a Buckeye. And I just jinxed us. You're welcome. Blame me.
That's the big one. I don't even, today's whatever. I don't fret over that at all.
No.
At all.
All right, boys. Appreciate you guys. Jeff and Shawn. Talk to you later.